Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and Daniel Hibbard. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Paul. Yes, good to be back. Another crazy week in harness racing. I think we mozzed Charlton last week, so let's see if we can be a bit more positive this week and make sure we don't lose any more meetings,
Rightio,
especially tomorrow.
Very quickly, Charlton. Last week we got it. We had a very good winner at Bathurst. The guys in New Zealand weren't happy because we were a bit late to the party. This horse was going around. Have they scored up and started?
Yeah, they have started, and then we're in a world of hurt because it's just galloping out the back. It's lost it's lost touch with the group, so it's about 40 metres behind them. So, yeah, we're going to need a little bit of luck from where we are at the moment.
Rightio. So for the Charlton Harness Racing Club, Claire Payne from the Terang Harness Racing Club, and the very, 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 very much better half of Toby McKinnon has had this week's bet, and she's had $25 the win on Amor Fraternel, a horse that she actually owns and races with her father amongst other people, and they get a lot of enjoyment out of this horse, but can be a little bit iffy away, and that has been its Achilles heel tonight, Daniel.
Yeah, it's trotting now. It's tacked onto the group. It's six back the inside. So, yeah, I think Chris will be just sort of driving it for a bit of luck and hoping that it can run on. But yeah, it didn't help itself by missing away there.
Right, we've got a pretty big show. We've got John Campbell on the line as we speak. I've got him muted. Anyone wondering how come I've got John quiet for so long? He's actually muted and he can't retaliate to that now. So I actually really enjoy this button, Daniel. He'll get back to me in a minute. Plus, Nick Hooper is going to join us a little bit later on as well. So we had an all-girls show last week. We've got an all-boys show this week. But some important news. John's representing both the VSTA and a few other hats going forward, and also Nick Hooper with the Breed to Succeed being postponed. We'll go into a little bit more depth with that, probably around the 7:30, but we'll just see how the show's going and we'll go from there. What I might do, you keep an eye on that horse, and I'll welcome in John Campbell. Firstly, John, welcome to On Loose Lines, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Good to be with you.
Did you enjoy being muted?
Yeah, good job. It wasn't for very long.
How's this horse going, Daniel?
We're into the 1-1, but we're still last, so that doesn't do us all that good at the moment. He's trying to come out 3 deep here, Chris Finozio, but he's got about 30 metres to make up. He is running on, but I don't think it's gonna do us any good. It's just coming into the home straight now. It's
no chance.
Ainsworth is out in front of Aussie Miss Sud, and I think the Ainsworths are going to get the cash here on in the trot race at Ballarat.
I've got to reposition your TV for you at your house.
I've got a laptop. I've got my tablet sitting on a laptop in front of the big screen, and I can't see all of the big screen. So that's okay. Why I was sort of leaning to the side.
We got lots going on, John. You wear many hats. You are a man of many things. You are a part of the Victorian Harness Breeders or Harness Breeders Victoria, and the likes. But tonight you're actually on for the VSTA and a ripper little raffle that they've announced coming up, John. That's going to be drawn Redwood Day.
Yes, with Pat Driscoll's sponsorship or great help, we've got a service fee to his new stallion just arrived in Australia, Classic Connection. He's a multiple group winner and he's by Love You and he's out of a great young mare. So it's a $5,000 service fee that Pat has said the VSTA can raffle. And of course we were going to start the raffle with the Breed to Succeed at Ballarat Monday night. So unfortunately we can't do that. But anyway, we're announcing that the raffle has started right now, and it's $50 a ticket, and there's only 100 tickets, and it'll be drawn on Redwood Day at Maryborough, and it's pretty important for people to get a ticket, and it's a $5,000 stallion, so it's all good.
So John, just so when we get back, we might just quickly go back to Classic Connection very quickly, because I wear many hats, and I actually had to change my hat just then. I had the wrong one on, but Classic Connection is a $5,000 service fee. along with that, you can get a $3,000 cash bonus back, Daniel. So you pay $50 for a ticket, you're getting a ticket for a $5,000 service fee. But if the horse wins a race as a 2-year-old, it doesn't have to be a 2-year-old race, but if that horse wins a race as a 2-year-old, $3,000 back into your coffers. So it's a terrific raffle, isn't it, John? Really, like you can be a win-win. Like you can, get it for $50, and if you can win a race, you'll get $3,000 back on top of it.
Yes, and the $3,000 is for the breeder of the 2-year-old winner. So it's a great promotion for the VSTA. Certainly with Pat Driscoll's help.
It is indeed, and while we're on that too, if you want to go to Classic Connection, as Pat said, as John said, he's a multiple Group 2 winner in France. He won the German Derby. He raced on one of the biggest days in France. I get them all mixed up, but the Amour de Prix or something like that. Anton will be there. That's it. Prix de Marique, that's it, because I was going to say Anton will be there ready to tell me off. He is $5,000, $5,500 in New Zealand. If you're a member of the VSTA, which John's representing here tonight, New South Wales Trotters Association, or the New Zealand Breeders Association, you actually will get $500 off the service fee, the advertised service fee price as well. So that's a great incentive that we want people to be aware of, don't we, John? Because, Pat's given this raffle to you guys to make money and help the VSTA along, but it's also a win-win, because if you want to go to this horse, it's a no-brainer to pay up to become a member of the VSTA, and then you can get $500 off your service fee.
Yeah, it's a basket full of good news.
It is. What does it cost to be a member, John?
A wholesome $20.
Wow, $20 to save $500.
Yeah, there should be a rush.
There should be indeed. Now, 2 people are selling them, Anne-Marie Conroy and Les Chapman, is that correct?
Yeah, the tickets have been printed, and Les has got some, and Anne-Marie Conroy's got some, and by trials time at Maryborough Sunday, there'll be tickets heading towards Bendigo and a couple of other places, so we can let people know who's got them.
So how do we, if people want to watching this show and they want to buy a ticket, how do they get involved with that, John?
Oh, well, in the immediate term, ring Les or Anne-Marie, or if you just want to make sure your name's on the list to get a ticket, ring Vicky Morrow, Secretary of the VSTA.
And sign up as well at the same time.
Yes, well, we were going to it was going to be the launch of our membership period at Ballarat on Monday night. So, well, it ties in well, the two things. You should be a member and then buy a ticket in the raffle.
You should also be a member of Harness Breeders Victoria, but we'll get to that with Nick Hooper a little bit later on. But as I said, John, you wear quite a few hats.
Three. Yeah.
3 hats. Loddon Valley Stud.
Oh, yeah, that's a small hat, yes. 4.
4 hats, don't worry. Kay tells him which hat to put on, as well as the socks, the jocks, and everything else. Daniel, don't you worry.
Yep.
Don't you worry about that.
Well, I've only got 2 here at the moment. I've got the Victorian Square Trotters hat on at the moment, and under my left hand, I've got the Bort Trotting Club hat ready to put on.
All right, we can go to that. Daniel's got a question to ask about box of chocolates, but while I'm going and talking, because I've got everything else in front of me, your 2021 Stallion Tender has been released today on your Facebook page, John, for anyone that wants to go there and have a look. It's there. Bids have to be up to 70% of the service fees. There's all terms and conditions. They've got to be lodged by Monday, the 13th of September, and the winning bidders will be told a fortnight after that. I believe bids will be lodged and the winners will be notified.
Winning bidders notified straight away, and they've got to pay within a fortnight.
Okay, payments have to be done prior to that. You've had great representation there again with Aldebaran Park, who has 3 horses in: Sky Valley, Yield Boko, Aldebaran Eagle, Mountain View Stud. Well done to those guys with Angus Hall and Peak. Down Under Muscles for the local Aldebaran Park, Cardigan Boko for Good Time Lodge, and Bacardi Lindy for Lower Long Farms. All trotters, which is terrific, John, and a good representation, mate.
Yes, well, we've been doing it for about 12 years at Bort Trotting Club. Fantastic support from the Trotting Stallions. We've never added a pacing stallion, but it's worked well. And of course, you've just read out the stallions and the farms that are supporting us this year, and we're pretty excited about it. It's looking good.
It is indeed, and it's good that they get behind you and support you, and a good range of stallions there for everyone involved. Anyone that's online that is watching has any questions they want to fire maybe to John Campbell or myself and Daniel, please, we encourage you to. It's good to see Mick Barbie is actually listening, so he'll be able to tell Anne-Marie that she's been dobbed in for it, so that part is all good, John. Daniel, I'll throw to you, mate.
Yes, no, we're getting off the tenders there. Look, John, obviously owner of Box of Chocolates, who is a really, really nice horse. 10 starts, 7 wins, hasn't run a place, but has won on 7 occasions, and has run some really good times in quite a few of those races. You must be pretty delighted to have a really nice type of horse at the races.
Yes, certainly. Her win at Ballarat nearly a fortnight ago, the trainer Kent Hartley and the driver Chris Alford were very happy. She's relaxing at the right stages, and she's got a nice bit of speed. So we're hoping she mixes it with some handy ones at Bendigo this Friday night.
She is
any other plans sort of going forward, John? Are you sort of any aspirations with her, or just sort of looking to race through her classes?
Yeah, pretty much race through. If she goes well, Bendigo this coming Friday night, she may go in a heat of a mare's race with a final at Bendigo following on shortly after this week. So yeah, only the short-term plan for the moment, and as long as she learns to race in the field well and to enjoy everything, it'll be real good.
Yeah, she's definitely better. They were very happy with her at Ballarat. I know Chris was really happy talking to him not long after the race, John.
Yes, she looked to be pacing beautifully to me, and she relaxed at the right stages, and she looked good.
Yeah, she did. She did indeed. So, John, as I said, you wear plenty of hats. We won't hold you for too long. It's actually the quietest I've heard. John, I suppose, while we got you, Bort, how is Bort tracking, John?
Yeah, Bort's going very well. We've just announced the Bort Stallion tender with you tonight. And over the years, that's brought in some lovely money. And one of the first things it did, or each year, is get our Trotters Cup prize money up to be level with our Pacers Cup prize money. And then this year, we were able to lift 3 $7,000 races to be $12,000 races on our Cup Day. So for a small club, we really appreciate some of the help we get.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. And then, as I said, you wear a few hats, but the VSDA is another one, and we've got to keep saying that you have a raffle. $50 a ticket. Buys you a ticket to Classic Connection. It'll actually cost you $70 if you're not a member, because you're going to sign up and become a member of the VSTA at the same time. You're going to buy a ticket. You're going to be 1 in 100 chances of winning, which is a no-brainer. And if that horse can win a race as a as a 2-year-old, you're going to get yourself back a $3,000 cash injection, which is just, it's a great raffle, isn't it, John?
Oh, yeah, well, we've already had a lot of people saying they're buying a ticket. Some might buy more than one, but yeah, a lot of people are going to make sure they get a ticket.
And it's going to be first in, best dressed?
Yeah, my word. We've only got 100 tickets, so very much.
It's hard wearing all these hats. I just had the Aldebaran Park hat on for the Harasta Trotters. And don't worry, Louise will be looking at me saying, Paul, that's even the wrong hat. This is actually the Yabby Dam Farms hat, because the Harasta Trotters is a beanie, and because it's a bit cold outside and I'm follically tested, it's actually in the car. So, but I've got the next best one on. John, thank you very much. I must say it's the shortest I've ever heard you talk, and I'm very impressed.
Well, I've been trying to impress you a little bit for a long time, Paul. Thank you very much for your time this evening, because you've given us a great kick-off with 2 important things.
That's what we're trying to do here. And you know, I said this last week to Andrea. I was going to call her Amanda. I was going to be in all sorts of Andrea Gorman, and that the clubs use this as a platform. We can help get the messaging out there and the likes and help keep people informed. Is what we're trying to do, as well as have a bit of fun when we can. Daniel's going to try and look after some of our Kiwi friends that are in lockdown over there in New Zealand. It's no good for them at the minute either, John. They're in a hard lockdown, but they can't even race. So we're going okay. We're going okay over here, that's for sure. But I want clubs to be aware that we're here. Have a bit of fun, but talk harness racing. And I encourage anyone that's on the line there. We've got Philip Wood from the Hamilton Harness Racing Club. He's a South Australian, though, John. I don't think I should have those South Australians on, should I?
No, but he's a Pyramid Hill boy, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. That's fine. No worries. John Campbell, I got to turn the other one off. You're not on that one. I got everything going on everywhere. John, thank you very much, and please say hello to Kay for me.
I'll do that, and it's a pity we're not looking live here. I've got two hats on at the moment.
I could have done that, but that was a worry for me. Going forward, we might do that one day, John. I might even get you in here. You can come in here and be part of the whole show. How's that sound?
Oh yes, we'll just we'll take it steadily for a little while, Paul.
A ratings bonanza. Everyone else is shaking their head, but it'll be fine. We'll just say it that way. Campbell and Campbell, John. It'll be fine. All right, mate. Thank you very much. And as just before I cross out to you, the Bort Trotters Stallion Tender closes on September 13. There's plenty of time, but do not forget it. That time will evaporate very quickly. The 2021 Stallion Tender. Go to their Facebook page or the website, John, which is help me out.
Board at HRV.
Very good.
.org.au.
Yep, very good. Go there and you can register there, get in touch with myself or John as well, and they'll be able to do that. Plus then also the VSTA and the Classic Connection raffle, $50 a ticket. Contact Les Chapman and Anne-Marie Conroy. I'll have some more details on next week's show on how to get in touch with them, but you should be able to get in touch with them. Les is at the Maryborough Harness Racing Club, so go there. John Campbell at Loddon Valley Stud, or Vicky Morrow at the VSTA. And when you're buying your raffle ticket, John, as we said, put the extra $20 in and become a member, and get some good things happening for the Trotters.
All right, well, that's great, Paul. And Bort's very good secretary is Nicole Miles. So that email address, the bids will lodge with her.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing Nicole later in the year once all this COVID settles down again. So we'll be fine. John, thank you for joining us, mate.
Yeah, no, thanks for the help.
Right, that was John Campbell. Daniel, he's a passionate man. He's a lot of fun, that's for sure, and he gets a lot of things done.
He is obviously, as you mentioned, he's got a number of hats that he wears, and he does a lot of work. And the Bort Club and the Bort District, certainly the Harness Racing Club wouldn't operate without the major input that he puts in. There's plenty of other helpers there, but he's the driving force, and he's one of the pillars of harness racing in the North Central area.
One of my strong Achilles heels is the fact, if that makes any sense at all, but is the fact I don't go big on run sheets and the rest. I can promise you, he's worse. I've never. Oh, it is out of control, but he is an incredibly passionate harness person, and they do a good job, Bort Harness Racing Club, that is for sure. How are we going at the next? No, we're a little ways off from the next there.
Yeah, about 10 or 11 minutes away from the next at Ballarat.
Right, I'll throw this hat on then, Daniel. I did a show last night, and I'm shamelessly plug everything I do, but the Nutrien, and I've got the Hero jacket on, but it's actually not the Hero. It is actually Harness Rehoming New South Wales. They've got behind this. So this is the New South Wales Rehoming. And I did an interview with a lady called Amy Cupit, and I encourage everyone to go to my Facebook or my YouTube channel and have a watch. Very, very passionate person. But what they and Nutrien have come together to do is incredible. They're doing a rehoming of the standardbreds at the 2022 Classics Camp Draft sale. So they've got 6 mystery trainers. 2 of them are not a mystery. They've actually released 2 of them. They're going to slowly release a few of them. So they're going to have 6 trainers that are going to train an off-the-track standardbred, and they're going to go there and they're going to compete. They're going to be chasing some dairy cattle around. They won't be their prize cattle. I think dairy cattle, I'm not sure, but go a little bit slower. And then they have an auction. So what they do at this big camp draft, they have auctions all the time. So they actually are going to have an auction afterwards. All money going to charity. and the 6 horses will be auctioned off. Whoever buys them takes those horses home. So 6 horses will be getting rehomed for auction for a good cause. But what it actually does do is also raises the awareness through the camp drafting community and the likes. I think last year at this draft, this online sale, they turned over $11.5 million. So don't kid yourself, it's a little horsey show. This is a big business. And it is great. And talking to Amy last night, she's a very passionate lady. She, like me, are hoping we can get to Tamworth. She lives in Sydney. I could be a chance of getting there before her, I reckon. But it's
the way it's looking.
It's terrible. It is terrible for them all there. That is for sure. But we're looking forward to hopefully being there in February and being on a showcase. And I just think it's great. And I think it's terrific that people look outside of the trail rides, show jumpers, eventers, have a think about other things. But, I encourage people to get involved. As I said, I'm an ambassador for Hero, but I shamelessly put on my Harness Racing New South Wales rehoming hat. I haven't got one. They'll probably send me one. Amy might watch this again and send me one. But I think what they're doing is well done. Go to their website, which is harnessrehoming.newsouthwales.com to follow the links, or they are on all the socials at New South Wales Rehoming, and that they've got some good things happening, but they've got some passionate people behind them, which is one thing that I really do enjoy, Daniel. That is for sure. So there's plenty going on there, mate. What about a winner? Can you get us a winner in the next at Ballarat, or is that throwing you under the bus?
No, it's you've
thrown you under the bus.
The bus has actually avoided me. There is one in this race that I do like, and it is from the Golden Valley, and it's not often that Laura Crosland would travel to Ballarat. Hey?
Yeah, I saw that.
And this one goes all right. Shayella's the horse, race 5, number 4. It is first up from a spell, but its form's been pretty consistent. It was a winner at Kilmore back in April, and then was a couple of minor placings at Maryborough, Cobram, and she also took it to Leeton back in April. So, look, it's a nice type. It has trialled pretty well at Shep the last little while, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it go all right there in that race tonight. Obviously, first up will be the test, but I'm just going to see if I can find out exactly what price it is in the market, and if I click there and then click on there. It's $3.60 on the fixed odds, so it's not quite the favourite. Colobos is the favourite for Aaron Dunn and CV Blacker, and then out to $5.50 for Vapor Rocks and Flying Art off the second row. But yeah, Shayella for me would be probably a good chance in that race there at Ballarat.
Yeah, absolutely. Now tomorrow you're calling Cobram Trots, and
Yes.
just trying to see if any of my New Zealand friends are on, but they're not actually on at the minute, but they're all in complete lockdown. Can you get them a couple of winners at Cobram? Since you're calling, is there something to look forward to at Cobram?
There's a couple of good races for mine. The 2-year-old race is probably one of the races to look forward to the most. It's at 1:23, so that's 3:23 New Zealand time.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
Yeah. You only got to add 2 hours. It's not that hard. The 2-year-old, Peter Reynolds, Cobram Caravan's 2-year-old maiden pace. There's
Cha-ching.
about, there's seven first starters in the race, and pretty much 6 of those have been trialling at Shep. Akey's got 2 of them, and Dave Moran's got 2 of them. Now, at the trials, it's been a bit like watching a poker game. No one's been really showing all of their hand with these 2-year-olds. It's been very, just sort of sit back and just sort of run home and, just poke them along. And a couple of times, one of the trials, I've sort of shown them up a little bit, but they haven't really exposed themselves too much in the trial. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that race plays out. My tip in that race will be number 9, Ideal Pace. It's Dave Moran's horse, and he's driving it. Cody's driving the stablemate, Botany Bay Warrior. This one's just going along nicely. Hasn't been exposed too much, and I just think that if there's a bit of speed on it, can certainly be right there at the finish. It's by Heston Blue Chip out of Bev Stew and Mary Lou, who was a nice mare for Mick Blackmore there going back. So look, it's probably obviously there's no prices or anything out yet, but I mean, it's probably the one that I'd be having something each way on. But the others, Talk Time is a really nice type, half to act now. And the other, Botany Bay Warrior, the other one of Dave Moran's goes nice. And Dave Aiken's other one, Lady of the Arts, another one that's just been really quiet and poking around there at the trials. Interesting race. It'll be really, I think there could be a bit of form to come out of that one. So it's certainly certainly a good race to look forward to. There's two other races at the back end of the card. The 3-year-olds are a really nice race. The 4 main chances have all drawn the second row. Harry Who, Royal Stars, Night School and Captain Dan. Look, there's not much between those 4, but because they've all drawn the second row, it does make it a little bit more interesting. I like Royal Stars. Bonita Breen's horse was a really good winner first up. Dipped a toe in the water last time and saw where they were at, but dropped back in class, so it's probably got to be a realistic chance in that race. And the following race is the Cobram Hotel. This is the faster class race of the day, and it's a good field. One Too Many's first up from a bit of a break after winning the George Croxford for Russell Jack. Dave Moran taking drive, gets a good draw. It's going to be really hard to beat. But Desi G for Laura Crosland is just absolutely flying at the moment. Draws the outside of the front, but it's been super form. And we see the return of Peter Ramiro and the Blackshaws horse Scorcher, who was he was competing in the sires. He won a heat at Ballarat. Didn't quite make the final there, around second in the silver final. So he's first up from a spell. So it's a really competitive 56 to 66 race. I'd be thinking that One Too Many, because of the draw, is probably going to be really hard to beat. But it's a really good card. The whole meeting's, consistent fields. As some of the races, a lot of the horses have been running against each other for years and years, but they're still pretty competitive racing. And there's, if you can find a winner tomorrow at Cobram, you're still going to be doing a good job because it's a good card.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the 2-year-olds are really starting to come to the fore. You said it there. The race at Kilmore that night as well. There's a ripping field of 2-year-old fillies going round. They're starting to come to the fore. I saw today just there that Ladies in Red's ready to step out next week as well. So there's a lot going on with the 2-year-olds and the other horses coming through and going from there. So, it is exciting. Mick Blackmore, you mentioned Mickey Blackmore. He was one of the first ones to log on too. So good evening, Mickey. Hopefully you're there. We've actually got Harness Racing Royalty on too. Emmy Mazzetti's joined us too. He wears plenty of hats. Anyone that wants any painting done, you can get a jury. What is it? I forget the names. I'll get into trouble. But good to have Emmy on there as well as a few others. Lee Humphreys and Maureen Evans. We also had there was Joan. I'm in all sorts of trouble. I have to go and try and find it now. I'm in a whole world of hurt now. There's a lot of people on here.
I'm not helping either.
No, I'm going to Cheryl Quinlan, Jodie Quinlan's mum, Joan Hargraves. How could I forget? Sorry, Joan. But plenty of people on there. So please, if you want to get involved, by all means, fire us any questions. Peter Ramiro is watching as well. You mentioned Scorcher, and then on he rocks.
Yep. He's a nice horse. Obviously, full brother to Smolder, and certainly big shoes to sort of try and emulate there. But he's a nice type, and he probably deserves a bit better luck in that sires series at the end of last year. He won his heat and then drew badly in the semi, missed the final, but he did run second in the silver series. And it'll be interesting to see how he goes tomorrow. They've put young Chris Anderson on. They've got the 3-point lift for him, so just having a nice poke around there at Cobram tomorrow, and he'll certainly benefit from that run or whatever he does. But I suspect it's going to be a good race and they should run good time, I would think. Right,
I've just rang Nick Hooper while we talk, so people can actually hear it coming through. So if we get Nick coming through, but it is a really exciting part of the racing season right now, isn't it? And
hello, Nick speaking.
Hello, Nick. Thank you very much for joining myself and Daniel on Loose Lines, my friend.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure on this Wednesday night.
Every night's a pleasure for you and I to talk. You enjoy the conversation. Daniel and I were just talking very quickly. The revamp of the new season, generally and traditionally, August and early September become a pretty boring time of year for harness racing because a lot of people tip them out. But the 2-year-olds stepping out tomorrow, both at Kilmore and Cobram, it's starting to get really exciting, isn't it, Nick?
It is. I think a lot of trainers and owners have tried
their babies earlier on in the season, maybe giving them a run or two. And a lot of them are now coming back and starting to prepare for the big races that are really going to start in earnest in a month or so's time. So it's a little bit thoroughbred-like, isn't it, in terms of you start to see what the spring is going to bring. And I think the spring this year is going to be really strong.
It's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? Like watching this year unfold. And I mentioned about my Kiwi friends and the likes, Nick, but they're in a little bit of a holding pattern this year, but then the following year it's well worth a little bit of pain while you wait for this full season to roll out like we've experienced this year.
Yeah, that's right. And I think once again we're all going to get through this year. We're going to, as an industry, we're going to see what's worked and what hasn't with the new calendar. I'm sure that most things will work really well. We learned a few things last year. We'll learn a few more things this year, and further tweaks will be made as we all go forward.
Yep, definitely, and it does keep improving. Nick, you wear many hats, like a few of us, but you are the president of the Harness Breeders Victoria, and we've had to do a bit of rescheduling and a bit of rejigging, I suppose, with the Breed to Succeeds going forward.
Unfortunately, yes. For those of us who are stuck in Melbourne, we're in lockdown. No news there for anybody. But what has that meant? It's meant that we've had to continually push Breed to Succeed back, and now that we're sort of pushed into September, we've had to make the heartbreaking call to cancel the live sessions this year, simply because coming into September, all of those that were going to be involved are really going to be getting into their breeding activities in earnest, and we just simply weren't able to continue to push it back. We thought about having the sessions for those in the regional areas, but some of the presenters, quite a few of the trade displayers were all stuck in Melbourne, and it really would have been a shadow of what we were hoping it would be. So we made what we think is the pragmatic decision, a very sad decision, but have cancelled those sessions. But that won't be quite it for Breed to Succeed. We've got a couple of things that we're working on with you, Paul, to perhaps have another session or two, but in a virtual sense, to close it out.
We've definitely got one, which was penned in for early September. It'll now probably get pushed back a little bit with Kath McIntosh. And, yeah, we've got talks, at least one or two. We never know. I don't mind going live, Daniel, when we're a little bit unrehearsed, and every now and then, I might step out of my comfort zone and go into one on Sunday. I'll just see you and go from there. We'll try and get it out, because they're very... People look forward to them. I noticed there Stevie Johnson's on. The guys in New South Wales, they looked forward to them, didn't they, Nick? They did.
I know that we had either booked or promised to be booked quite a few people from north of the border, and initially when we were in lockdown, they weren't going to be able to cross the border and get back, and now New South Wales is in lockdown, so that prevented it as well. So that would have been very disappointing for friends in New South Wales, and yeah, it really, I mean, COVID is ruining a lot of things, and Breed to Succeed for this year is one more thing to add to that list.
Right, I wear a few hats. I got my Barrostock hat on, so we must make sure we thank Barrostock and Kentucky Equine, because they were the naming rights sponsors. Kentucky Equine Research, that is, were both the naming rights sponsors. And their biggest show was really going to be these two live shows as well. So we must make sure we thank those. But we've also got to thank. We'll go with Woodlands first, if you like, Nick, with American Ideal, because that was huge to put this service fee up, and it's not done and dusted yet either, but as someone was going to be able to win just going to these live shows.
That's right. I think Kath is chatting with Mark Hughes at Woodlands just to see what the go is there, and of course Kath's Lower Long Farms put forward service fee to Pastor Stephen. Wonderful prizes that we're really quite disappointed that we can't hand out as prizes, perhaps, but maybe it's not all over. We're just going to continue to work through that. You are right. We did have a final session set for the September the 5th. We'll probably push that back to the 12th and either look to have some form of Breed to Succeed show with you on that date, exact formatting and what it's going to involve. We'll work that out and let everybody know.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's flexible. We can work around it and go from there. These were going to be great. I actually have, while we're going, I've got one other picture to throw up there, which is all the sponsors that we're going to have the trade displays. Now, I know this is not all of them, but this is all of the ones that we definitely have access to. So Lower Long Farms, Woodland Stud, Kentucky Equine, High Gain, Mitavite, International Animal Health, Alabar, Minitube, Nutrien Equine, Empire Stallions, APG, Ranlab, Harasta Trotters, Victorian Harness Racing Club, because Emmy Mazzetti's actually watching, Nick, so I've got to make sure I get that one right. Barrastock, The Barn, HRV were another one. They're not even on there. So there's plenty of sponsors as well that we're going to have trade displays there as well. So we'll try and work something that we can get them a little bit more publicity, I suppose, going forward.
Yeah, we were grateful to so many people that came on board. Trade displays really hadn't been a thing in the industry, and we were thrilled with the response from our direct members of the industry, and then those who supply. They really grabbed the opportunity, and it would have been wonderful. Next year it's going to have to be. We'll just all have to be patient. We've waited 12 months. We're going to have to wait another 12 months. But that's really been the story of the last year and a half, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I know doing them last year, we had the juggles every now and then. I was doing a couple with people, and then I was back to Zooms, and it really broadened my horizons, I suppose, onto what I could do. Aaron Brown's actually typed a message in here too that he had a good feeling about winning the American Ideal service fee, but he thinks he's been robbed. He's been robbed now. But I mean, we can't sneeze at either of these two prizes. One was 12,500. One was, I think, 5.5 or 6.5. I'll get into trouble for Pastor Stevens.
5.5.
5.5 for Pastor Stevens. American Ideal, though, he's fully booked. His book's closed too, Nick. Like, that was the other key part of it.
Oh, no doubt about that. Would have been a sought after, or is a sought after prize. He's booked up nice and early. No great surprise there. He's been doing a wonderful job for Woodland Stud for quite some time now, and whoever would have won that would have been very, very pleased with themselves. And Pastor Stevens' book is filling as well, and I think I saw on social media that he's very much arrived in the country and can be inspected along with American Ideal at Lower Long Farm, where they both physically stand.
Yep, and I just put the Lower Long Farms logo up there because that was formerly Northern Rivers Equine, but it is now known as Lower Long Farms. Daniel, did you have any questions for Mr. Hooper?
Oh, not really. I think you've covered it off. It's just disappointing, obviously, with COVID and everything at the moment. Events like this just unfortunately can't proceed. That so much work goes into them behind the scenes. There's so much effort goes into offering prizes and incentives for people to come along and that sort of thing. And it's been really hard for everyone. And I think at the moment we probably feel a little bit blessed that after last week we were still able to keep racing because I think there was probably a few people who were worried we were going to lose that side of things. So it's hopefully we can salvage something, I guess, from what's happened and out of the what's been put on.
Look, we've had more false starts than Raylene Boyle. Anyone under the age of 30 won't get that gag, but we'll get to the line eventually, and we'll be right. Look, I think thanks have to go to not only all the sponsors there, but Kath McIntosh, our Vice President, has done a power of work over a long period of time to try and get this up, and it's disappointing for her that this hasn't been able to occur for the second year in a row. But nonetheless, I think that the work we've done with you, Paul, there's still an excellent library of information that's available from last year, from the couple of sessions that have been done this year, that provide great information for anywhere from experienced breeders down to the novices and those who are just on the beginning of their breeding journey to improve their knowledge with that information. So hbv.org.au and find your way to the Breed to Succeed section, and you'll be able to view them.
Absolutely, and our Kiwi friends, they're in a 4-day hard lockdown. They're not allowed basically out other than to feed and light exercise their horses. They're not allowed to even fast work them, actually. I encourage them to sit back and watch them. Yeah, some of the parts, Australia and New Zealand, there could be difference, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of good things that they can get out of those seminars, Nick, because they were very, very informative. I mean, they were sensational, and some of the banter backwards and forwards that we got through the comments made them a lot of fun, and pretty much what I'm doing here tonight because of them. Because and I've got a couple more comments. That's what makes these sort of shows fun. But you also learn from it because people will fire a question out, and you're able to learn something. Nick, very quickly, the trotters, I see you wear a lot of other hats. I'm sure you're a VSTA member, but the way the trotters are going, Saturday night's fields at Kilmore, I'm working Bendigo, and I'm very happy to be working Bendigo. I'd love to be working Kilmore. With the trotters that are stepping out at Kilmore on Saturday night, it's just enormous, isn't it, the quality of trotters we have here in Victoria?
It is, and I think, look, I've got a trotter running tonight at Ballarat, but just looking through the fields, race 8's a trot, race 4 was a trot, race 3 was a trot, race 2 was a trot. Not only are the numbers continuing to grow as the various crops mature and hit the track, but the quality is there. With all respect to the free-for-all paces that have been running over the winter months, I think it's fair to say that the trotters have stolen the show at the upper level. Some of the races have just been superb, and the depth that's occurring with the increase in the racing crop of trotters is really starting to shine. So there's a lot to look forward to if you're a fan of the Diagonal Gate.
The APTS Trotter Series too, they unfortunately didn't get their heats. Luckily, there was only enough for one heat anyway, but they all step out at Kilmore. I've put Duncan's hat back on, but just exciting just to see the young ones starting to come through too, and the next crops of horses, and it's onwards and upwards with the trotter, I think, at the minute, mate. Yeah,
those two races, not big fields, but very, very solid quality in both of them. Some really nice fillies and colts going around. And if we look forward, APG have just closed their nominations. They've got a $125,000 trot race off next year's yearling sales, and then Nutrien with 4 races for 2 and 3 year olds. I think that Pat Driscoll and his team at Harada Trotteurs have gotten behind. There's a hell of a lot to be racing for if you're looking to buy a juvenile trotter in the years to come.
Absolutely, and I can tell you now, Nick Campbell's comments will be pumping the trotters up big time, because I do have a very, very soft spot for them, which you well and truly know. Nick, thank you very much for joining me. I don't want to get you divorced. I think you're lovely. Might think you and I are having an affair. We have that many conversations. It's starting to get unhealthy, I think.
Well, look, as long as people are enjoying it and having a laugh, that's all that matters.
All right, mate. Well, I look forward to chatting to you. We'll keep people posted with Breed to Succeed. That's the main reason we're coming on. But please become a member of Harness Breeders Victoria, and we'll keep you posted with a couple of seminars coming up. Definitely one last one off. You said there about the 12th of September, hopefully, all going well. But there might be 1 or 2 prior to that, just depending on what myself, Kath, you guys all get behind, and we can try and get things involved there. Stevie Johnson, he has no doubt the efforts from everyone involved, and encourages people to breed. I think that is what we're all about. We're encouraging people to breed, both here, anywhere. Make sure you get into the breeding. Aaron Brown, an American Ideal, due on the ground hopefully in 2 weeks. Good luck to you, Aaron. Hopefully events like this can come to fruition in the future. Thank you very much for that. And then Marie Newberry also was really looking forward to the Shepparton event. So we've got plenty of feedback there, Nick, all positive. And that's, I think, what we've got to do, keep being positive with the breeding, and onwards and upwards, get the numbers up, which then grows our sport and continues to grow it.
Yeah, very much so. No, thank you, Paul and Daniel, for having us on, and have a great night.
Before you go, can you try to win?
I don't know. I'm a social butterfly in race 9. She's now she's number 2, but drawn the pole. She comes out nicely, but so she should be in a good spot. Whether she can win or not, her first up run was only a bit plain, so I think she'd need to improve a bit. But from the good barrier, second up, hopefully she can. So I don't know, $2.80 the place, fixed odds I'm looking at. Maybe that's the better bet than the win, but we'll see how she goes.
No worries. Nick Hooper, President of Harness Breeders Victoria, mate. Thank you very much for joining us on short notice. I really appreciate it, and we'll keep getting the messaging out there. So, keep going what you guys are doing. You're doing a great job. I really enjoy it. So thank you very much for joining us, mate.
Likewise, enjoyed it. We'll catch you soon.
There we have Nick Hooper. Daniel, he's very passionate. They've got a great crew behind them, the Harness Breeders Victoria. They do pay me to promote their stuff, that we'll put on their stuff, but I love working with them, I must say. It's they're just a great organisation, very, very passionate, which is what harness racing needs.
Yeah, absolutely. They do a magnificent job, and I think I've actually got one of their coffee cups in my top drawer in the kitchen. So yeah, it's a bit of merch from HBV. Those 2 races at Kilmore for the trotters, the Premier Trotting Sale, they're really good races. I mean, obviously they lost the heats there, didn't have the heats, but they've all made the final. But they're really good races. The Fillies race is the first one at 7:03 on Saturday night. Look, Bangles was obviously one of the best last season. She was 4th her first up run. But there's a couple of nice ones of Chris Lang's Eva's Image and Queen Invasion go really nice. And then Silent Reverie from the pole. There's not much between all 8 of them, really. So a $50,000 race, and it's probably, it's quite an open field. There's probably not too much separating any of those fillies. The Colts and Geldings division is race 9 at 9:35, only field of 7. But again, it's a nice race. Who's the Man's been going super for Chris Finozio. Aldebaran Zeus has always shown ability. And my personal favourite is the little chestnut Loxley Lover for John Nissen and Rebecca Bartley. Just a gutsy little 2-year-old, now turned 3. He's had a couple of trials at Shep. They were very, very quiet. He wasn't knocked around, but he looks good. And I'm sure he would have had a fair bit of work at home. So he's first up into a $50,000 race there on Saturday night, and I've always had a nice opinion of him, and I reckon John and Rebecca are probably the same boat. So both those races on Saturday night are going to be worth watching, even though they are small fields. But they're going to be cracking contests, and because of the stake money, I think it'll be on for young and old.
Absolutely, and as Andrea Gorman always says, and we've got to keep putting it out there, we take for granted that it is there, but just go to thetrots.com and follow the links to the media play, and you'll be able to watch all the coverage. I'm not sure who is working Saturday night, probably Robbie Orber, Dan Malecki, I would say the general metropolitan feel. I don't know who else is there, and if they're not working, I apologise, but tune in, because you'll get post-race driver interviews, you get pre-race driver interviews, and you get all the updated betting moves and everything that's going on. So it's an essential to watch Trot's Vision. As I said, I'm doing Benny on Friday night. I've just looked
it up. The fixed odds are actually out for those races. The Trot races. Bangles is $1.55, so she's pretty short in that race. Aldebaran Ursula is about $3.60, and then Chris Lang's pair are both at $7.50 in that race. And the boys. Aldebaran Zeus is $1.70, and they haven't missed Loxley Lover. Obviously, I've pumped it up too much. It's into $2.60. And Who's the Man's at $5.50. Bullion Harry's at $8. So the markets are already up for those races, which is good to see. Good to see that people can have a wager on those 2 feature trot races on Saturday night already.
We're probably teasing all my Kiwi friends, because they probably can't get to see those fixed odd ones either, unfortunately. But they'll be able to. They will be able to tune in.
They can't complain. I'm giving them enough information. Surely they can get on somewhere.
Don't you forget your best in that, because before we close out, we'll actually go back to those. while we're going, Daniel, I am going to bring up, this was a ripping tweet I found just prior to going to air. This is Grant Coeli, who is a New South Wales man, very passionate harness racing person, but he writes there, I've got the slide up there, but at 89, Poppy Terry isn't renewing his trainer's licence. I think well done to you, Terry, anyway, for keeping going for that long this coming season. Last night at Young, he got his last winner. The stable purchased Beryl, sharing the name with my nan. His biggest life win was marrying Beryl. His last training win was Beryl. Perfect. And I think that's great. I think that's what harness racing is about. And I really enjoy that. And it's great to see Beryl there. She's got a, looks like she's got a VB sitting in the hand. So she might have enjoyed the night as well, Daniel.
Yeah, it was. I just had a look at it before. It was a pretty short price favourite, but did get the cash. But I mean, that just goes to show the demographic that we deal with in harness racing. It's not just the elite, like it might appear at times in the gallops world, but in the harness racing, you've got the young, you've got the old, you've got the girls and the boys. It's all shapes and sizes that are in this sport, and good to see that even at the age of 89, you can still be involved in a meaningful way, still training horses and getting a winner at 89. It's not a bad thing to be doing.
No, definitely not. I encourage everyone else on social media to Gloucester Park, Kath Harris, who I've had on a couple of times, put on there, thanks to the clerks of the courses effort. I don't know exactly what happened to Shannon Savelko, and I might try and have an interview because she's doing a great job over there, young Shannon. She drove up a stack of winners through their Pink, pacing for Pink month as well. She's only 20 years of age, but she had a harness issue of some description. She clearly put her hand up at one stage and she was in a little bit of trouble. And the clerk of the course came in and saved the day, and it's terrific. But we probably do take it for granted. I mean, they're always there to hold our horses while we put the hobble shorteners in or, fix some gear. But, when, that could have gone really, really ugly, whatever was going on. I won't say she dropped her or didn't drop a rein. She didn't have a rein. She may have had a rein break, is what it looked like, but not really sure. But it could have got really ugly. Instead she was pulled up and everyone was safe. And I think they're the unsung heroes of harness racing, aren't they?
Oh, and in both codes, in the gallops as well. I mean, most days they go to the races, they, just hop on the pony and, wander around and, lead the field out and that's all that they have to do. But the circumstances sometimes result in, having to chase horses down to catch them, which is it's a critical part of what they do. And, the clerks do you'd hate to think how many hours they would do, training their horses to be able to chase and to catch and to get into, different positions to be able to, get horses out of harm's way. And the miles that they do as well. I mean, they travel around, take the horses and, to all parts of the state and, they do a lot of work and, sometimes they go to the races and they don't have to do much, but when they have to be asked for the effort, they always, jump in, and they do their best to catch loose horses. And, that's a very important job that we have.
Absolutely well said. Very, very well said. Well, that's about it on my run sheet, mate. I encourage anyone to go to harnessrehomingNewSouthWales.com, also the VSTA, and I'll actually do those one more time. Don't forget about that. Become a member at Charlton Harness Racing Club on their Facebook pages as well, and plenty of other stories there. Have you got anything else for me before I ask for your specials tomorrow and over the weekend?
No, nothing else. I mean, it's obviously when we finished off last week, we sort of thought that we were, having Charlton race, and then it all sort of turned pear-shaped probably 2 hours after that. So, it's just important that everyone, particularly Victoria, I know it's a little bit different in New South Wales with the rules and stuff up there with, regional racing and so forth, but it's just important that, our participants in Victoria recognise, the rules and regulations, and just be careful. I mean, it's just for the sake of everyone that's in the industry. You've just got to be so careful on what you do these days. You might think something's pretty innocent, in terms of going somewhere like a shop or, into the city or whatever the case may be. But you've just got to be super careful and just protect yourself, and because it's important that we can keep the industry going. And we got away with it last week. We got we were able to get out of it really quickly, which was good. But we just want to make sure that everyone stays safe and we can keep racing because we don't want to have to stop for a long period of time.
There was a case with the Richmond footballer, and if you want to know about playing it safe, he almost brought the AFL to its knees. He believes, and you got to believe him on face value, he went to the shop to get a coffee, 5k radius or something like that, but he ran into his mates that were on a pub crawl, and they decided they'd put a photo on social media, and that's how quickly it can save. So you're spot on. Stay safe and stay safe. Don't get just everyone look after each other, especially in those hotspot areas in Melbourne as well, and look, their own health above everything else as well. Like, I mean, you work in the health department, so their own health. Happily say I'm double vaccinated. I want to encourage everyone to get out there and get vaccinated as soon as you can, which will help stem it. That's another key part, Daniel, that's for sure. Rightio.
Absolutely.
Best bets tomorrow?
Yeah, so we sort of went through it a little bit earlier. The 2-year-old, probably something each way on Ideal Pace, number 9, race 3, number 9. I think he's just a nice type, and I'm expecting him to run a good race. The 7th race, the 3-year-old, each way Royal Stars for Juanita Breen. Not sure what price it'll be, but I just think it's just a nice type of another one that's just a nice type of horse, nice 3-year-old. I think the best of the day is One Too Many for me in race 8, number 2. I just think that it just sort of maps really well that it's going to be in front, and it does like to roll along. And I think if it does that, it might be a bit hard for the ones to chase it down there in that race. So race 8, number 2, and then Saturday night, good racing there at Kilmore. We'll just go to the 2 feature races, the 2 trotting finals. The fillies race, look, Bengals is $1.55. It's probably about as rock bottom price as you would want to take. Probably Queen Invasion for me. I think it's a nice type going forward. Just something each way on it might be the play there. And I didn't realise it was going to be as short as it is, but I really do like Loxy Lover, and I think it's a really big chance in that race. Race 9, number 1. So they're the ones for the weekend and for tomorrow and the weekend, and hopefully our friends in New Zealand can have a couple of bucks on them and sit back and watch the races over the next few days.
I've wore every hat. I forgot theirs. Well done. You gave me James Jennings. He'll be sitting back drinking one of his craft beers. He's a lover of craft beer, James. He's been missing on Instagram. He used to put a different craft beer up. He might have drank all the New Zealand craft beers. His Instagram posts have died off a little bit, but he doesn't mind it as well. They're all sitting back. They're in hard lockdown. Unfortunately for him, he's in Auckland, so they're in a 7-day hard lockdown. But my Kiwi friends, I definitely feel for all of those. That's for sure. One other thing, Daniel, we missed, and we can't afford to miss. Chris Alford, 7,500 wins. Terrific effort.
Massive effort. It's I probably slightly got missed. I think in that it occurred, and that's probably through no one's fault. It was probably just not expected. You just don't think. I remember obviously the shirts that come out for his 6,000 winner, but for him to have had another 1,500, it just doesn't seem like. It seems like yesterday that he only had that 6,000th winner, but look, it's an incredible achievement, and he just keeps getting better and better. He can drive the really good ones and make it look easy, but he can drive the average ones and he can get them home as well. So he's a phenomenal driver in our sport, and he's a great man to lead our industry because he's doing a superb job, and I don't think he'll stop anytime soon. No,
definitely not. And Taylor French notched up her 100th winner at Shepparton with a double with a double on Sunday, I think that wasn't it? So yes,
Sunday,
yeah. So Claire Payne, Taylor does a great job with Chris Finozio's team of horses, and that going forward. So that's pretty much.
There is one other winner. There is one other winner. We've got to mention. This has to win for myself being. It needs to win, and that's Melbourne. We have to win. We have to beat Geelong.
AFL free zone, mate.
No, sorry, I had to mention keeping the faith, and hopefully we can win and finish on top of the ladder.
Couple of great harness.
I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say we're going to finish on top of the ladder.
Couple of great harness racing names there at the bottom. Joey Addard and Paul Wiedenbach are watching as well, so thank you very much. A couple of names I don't see very often. Lou Hooper, Will Rothwell, young man in the industry too, so thank you for everyone joining. Stevie Johnson, he always on board. He's stuck in New South Wales. I'm not even sure if the farmers are allowed outside their house in New South Wales, or I don't know how it works over there, but thank you very much for joining and contributing, and I encourage everyone else to contribute. We will very quickly go through, because Uncle John, he actually rang me back on Messenger and while we were going, so I'm not sure exactly if he meant that one or not. He might have wanted to come on for a cameo, but the Bort Trotting Stallion Tender 2021 is open now, closes on the 13th of September. Aldebaran Eagle, Angus Hall, Bacardi Lindy, Cardigan Boko, Down Under Muscles, Peak, Sky Valley and Yield Boko are all up there. I'll probably end up having to do a couple of things with John. He might come into the studio and he might host it with you, Daniel. That'll be a lot of fun. No idea where the conversation will go.
No.
No way. And then the other reason for having John on as well was to promote the VSTA, who have got a Stallion raffle, 100 tickets, $50 a ticket. Classic Connection stands for the service fee of $5,000 here in Australia, $5,500 in New Zealand, which is actually the tile I have got up by mistakes there. It's 38 starts, 8 wins. Those wins are in France. He won 2 Group 2s. He also won a German Derby. He's a really high-quality horse. But the beauty of that one, Daniel, that's a kicker, isn't it? You pay $50 for a raffle ticket. If you're lucky enough to get him in the raffle and you can win a race as a 2-year-old, you get $3,000 back in your Skyrocket. Like, that's just huge. It's just a really, really good thing to do there. Uncle John is king of the pocket dial. Oh, okay. So Desiree, thank you very much for that. It might be a Campbell thing, Desiree. She'll be pretty confident I've pocket dialed her. Unfortunately, my sister-in-law, not sure, it must be where it sits in the back pocket when I do it, but Kez gets plenty of them. I don't know how that happens, but it does happen, that's for sure. So all those going up there, don't forget, and I must say I wear plenty of hats, but Nutrien and New South Wales Harness Racing Industry, the rehoming program they've got, it's huge. There'll be a lot more coming into this on Campbell's comments, but 6 standardbreds are going to be rehomed and go up for auction. But I think it's great that they're thinking outside the square and showcasing our beautiful animals to a different breed. Stay tuned. Harness Breeders Victoria as well with the Breed to Succeeds. We'll keep you posted when we know what's going on. Daniel, good call in tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it very much.
And good luck. When is it? Saturday? Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday night. Saturday night we play them, so I'll be able to sit down and relax and hopefully see them win the minor premiership. It doesn't count for much, but it's something.
I'm about to draw an end. How many monitors do you have that you can watch things on through, like the Olympics and that and the likes? How many monitors can you actually sit there and watch things on?
Oh, no, I've probably only 2. I've got the TV, obviously the TV in the lounge room, and I'd have the tablet going on something if I needed it to. But just the 2. I don't need 40 screens. That's a bit too much. That's a bit of overkill.
I don't have 40, but I do have 4. I actually found myself the other day having 4 on live sport at any one time. I'll be interested if we get any feedback at all through our feed of who may have more than mine. Was only a TV, a laptop, a phone, and a tablet. Like, it's not they're not big screens by any stretch, but it is out there. It'll be interested to see who else has more than that. Daniel, I've enjoyed it. Bit of fun. We're trying to build a program. We're going to get more and more people on as we can through phone calls and the likes, get the messages out there. So if you're a club, you want to get messaging out there and the likes, go from there. If you're doing some good things for harness racing, please get involved with us and go from there as well. I'd like to thank all my sponsors. I wore every hat, I don't think I missed too many of the hats. People got to see the reflection off my scone. Your picture's just starting to break up, so I reckon we've gone long enough. Daniel Hibberd, thank you very much, mate.
Yep. Thanks, Paul.